Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. So day 10 will take us around the 22nd of December, just for Christmas, and we'll be able to run out beyond that with the extended GFS and also ECM ensembles. They run to around a couple of weeks. And we'll have a 7V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that will take us into early January, and I shall get on with that for you very shortly. We're going to begin with stratospheric information. So first video released today was weekend forecast. It's going to be a wet and windy week generally, and pretty mild. So have a look at weekend forecast when you're done with this video, and that'll be absolutely fantastic if you can all do that. As well as on Saturday, we have your weekend look ahead. We live streamed last night. It's a fantastic live stream. We had a huge number of super chats. So thank you so much to all of you for your amazing super chats. We got nearly £100 on that live stream last night. Incredible kindness and generosity from all of you. So thank you so much to each and every one of you for doing that, and it was a great live stream. It was a lot of fun. I inflicted my singing on everybody. I did a few Christmas numbers, and I can't sing to save my life, but you know, it was a lot of fun, and obviously people must have enjoyed it because we had so many super chats. But no, in all seriousness, it was a great live stream, so thank you so much everybody. If you wasn't able to watch it live on Friday night, then you can watch it on demand on catch up whenever you would like to do that. And it is a laugh, but just sort of take it in the way but it's intended, which is not particularly seriously, and just to have a bit of a laugh at it, really. But it was a lot of fun, and thank you so much everybody for a really great live stream. We'll do it all over again next Friday night. We'll just be a week before Christmas, of course, next Friday night, so it'll be even more of a laugh, I suppose, just being 1 week before Christmas. Right, let's get on with this video though. So we're going to begin with temperatures at 10 HPA over the North Pole. So we're looking to get a sudden stratospheric warming. That is where we are going to obliterate those blue and purple colours. You see the blue and purple colours just there? That is the polar vortex at its roots in the stratosphere. When we get a sudden stratospheric warming, we lift the temperature up by around 50 or 60 degrees in a couple of days, and we totally destroy these blue and purple colours. They get obliterated and replaced by sort of yellows, oranges, and those sort of colours. At the moment, we've got a cold temperature at 10 HPA at around -80 in the stratosphere over the North Pole. I've got a little bit of minor warming occurring on either side of the Arctic, but over the Arctic itself, it is pretty cold. Let's see what the GFS's forecast happen. Then this is at metrosignal.fr. This is the latest GFS run for 6Z. So we keep those blue and purple colours going over the pole for the next few days. But we do get quite a significant warming beginning to occur in around a week's time over Siberia. These sort of yellow and almost to orange colours here over Siberia. That's quite a significant warming of the stratosphere that's taking place there. And let's see what happens with that, though. So as we go through up towards Christmas, that intensifies a little bit more. Goes to around -16, this warming at its peak, which of course is still very cold, but you know, that's quite a significant warming of stratosphere, but it's not a sudden stratospheric warming. It does not do all that much damage to the blue and purple colours, the polar vortex at its roots. They remain, but there's a little bit of a displacement going on of those blue and purple colours. So this warming of the stratosphere over Siberia in around a week's time is enough to displace the polar vortex at its roots a little bit and push it over to our side of the pole, but it's not enough to like do all that much damage to the polar vortex at its roots. However, sometimes these sort of significant minor warmings can be a precursor to like a sudden stratospheric warming. And look what the GFS does as we come towards the end of this GFS 6Z run. It starts to rapidly increase temperatures from like Europe into Siberia. Now this is not reaching sudden stratospheric warming temperature levels at this point, but that looks like it might be the start of a very significant warming to me at around, just around Christmas or just after Christmas. That might be the beginnings of a very significant warming taking place, and that might intensify like through the end of December and into early January, giving us a sudden stratospheric warming in January. Possibly, maybe. You know, it's all speculation, because up to as far as we go with this GFS run, which is the 28th of December, it only shows, you know, it only shows that, which is not a sudden stratospheric one, but it does look significant. That warming does look significant there, from Europe all the way up into Russia, and that can sometimes be how sudden stratospheric warmings will get going. It looks kind of similar to a sudden stratospheric warming that we had in 2013, early January 2013, but it actually began, that sudden stratospheric warming actually began like late December 2012 in a very sort of similar type way. Actually, I can probably show you that. So it's going off on a little bit of a tangent, but shall I show you that so you can see how it started? So we need to go to Archive CP Era. We need to go to, let's say, around the 28th of December, 2012. Let's have a look at that. 28th of December 2012. We need to look at 10 HPA temperatures. So we click that, and then we need to go to Northern Hemisphere. I should have got this up before I started, shouldn't I? Let's see. So let's see how the sudden stratospheric warming of 2013, or winter 2012-2013 started. And notice how those warmer than average temperatures, not overly dramatic at this point, but a big swathe of warmer than average temperatures stretching from Europe up into Russia, how that looks. So comparing that to like where the GFS 6Z finishes, which is just to there, you can see that there might be a little bit of a similarity, albeit this is like a different view because it's not as extended as like the GFS 6Z is, but look, that looks kind of similar, doesn't it? So this that we see at the end of the GFS 6Z might be the start of the sudden stratospheric warming getting going for January. But of course it's 384 hours away, so it's unreliable. It's very unreliable time frame stuff, and so we just need to keep an eye on it. But that does look potentially a little bit significant. Again, I'll remind you of just how the 2012-13 stratospheric warming developed. So let's go through to around the 6th of January 2013, and you'll see how a genuine sudden stratospheric warming looks, and it looks very dramatic. So that's it, that massive red and orange there, the, you know, very, very intense colours, and it did eventually lead to the obliteration, complete and total, actually, complete and total obliteration of the polar vortex. There it is, look at that, totally obliterated by the 13th of January 2013. Of course, that eventually brought us to quite a cold winter and a very, very cold March with really significant northern blocking. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on that, of course. Right, censoring temperature next. So the CT looks like this. Provisional up to the 11th of December. We're standing at 4.5, which is an anomaly of half a degree below average. This was in the 2s, it's around 2.9 a few days ago. So the CT has moved quite a bit, and it will continue to increase, actually, over the next week, because we are in for some appreciably mild weather. So this is likely to reach sort of at least upper 5s, I would have thought, maybe 5.7 to 5.9, maybe a little bit higher than that even, in around a week's time. We shall see, but certainly that's going to get a boost, I think, in the coming days. And the reason why is that we're going to bring in westerly winds. So these are the 500 millibar high anomaly flow charts from Penn State University for the next week to 10 days, with the ECMWF on the top and the GFS on the bottom. So 500 millibars is an area in the actual high pressure, low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red extrapolates high pressure, blue to low pressure. You can see that with the ECM, we've got this area of below average heights to the north and to west of the country, and we're bringing in like a westerly flow. There is blocking. We have got northern blocking extending right through Greenland and up into the Arctic itself. Also a ridge across eastern Europe and western Russia, which isn't doing us any favours really for pulling in cold air. And so despite the northern blocking mode, we're generally bringing in a westerly wind, and up to day 10 relatively mild. But GFS is very similar, in fact it's virtually identical, with below average heights out to our west, above average heights to our east and northeast, extending back to northern blocking. But despite the northern blocking, we're still mild and we're still bringing in those westerly winds. So unsettled and relatively mild up to day 10. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Looking at Rotherham today. So the red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Rotherham, I should say. And we're starting off close to average at the moment. We're going to see the upper air temperatures lifting up for a while, then cooling down, and then lifting back up again. So quite zonal. Quite a bit of zonality there for the next week, which overall, averaging it all out, will keep us relatively mild. Heading towards Christmas, which is this period just here, we still have huge amounts of scatter. Look at the scatter we've got from like the warmest to coldest ensemble member. So I think that one just there, just about the coldest ensemble member, going down to around -10 or lower at 850 HPA. That's real cold. That's bitter cold. Conversely, this green line up here is the warmest ensemble member we have, going up to very close to +12 at 850 HPA. So between the two, there is like over 20-degree temperature differential from the warmest to coldest members. I think we do possibly see signs of a little bit of a cold snap around Christmas, though, and then maybe a recovery in the temperature after Christmas, heading towards period between Christmas and New Year. But again, there is so much scatter in there that it really is very, very difficult to decipher what's happening. You'll notice that the thick green line, by the way, which is the operational run, does get quite cold. I'll show you that in a moment. There's a little bit of cold snap showing up on the operational GFS 6Z just around Christmas. Precipitation-wise, just regular bouts of rain coming in off the Atlantic. This is going to be a very unsettled week to 10 days, and possibly very unsettled couple of weeks, actually. So there will be plenty of rain to come with low pressure in control. Temperature anomalies from the 12th to the 20th of December going to be milder than average, not just the UK, but for nearly all parts of Europe. Precipitation anomalies from the 12th to 20th of December, average to a little bit wetter than average. Here's today's latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net, showing that we've got a very significant area of low pressure lurking in the Atlantic. It is actually a little bit calmer today, to be honest. We're building up a very slight transient ridge, but it's only ahead of this big area of low pressure just here. And that low pressure has our name on it for tomorrow. We'll bring wet and windy weather with gales and bouts of heavy rain into the country through the course of tomorrow. Right, so this is how the UK Met is looking for Tuesday. Low pressures dominating to west of Scotland. Wet and windy conditions coming and going through much of next week, with regular bouts of rain and mild or possibly even very mild southwesterly winds at times. Friday next week does look particularly mild. This is how the GFS 6Z is looking. So again, low pressure barreling in from the Atlantic, bringing plenty of spells of rain through the course of the coming week. There will be strong winds associated with that as well. That looks quite stormy for next Sunday. This is beyond a week out, but that's looking quite stormy there on Sunday the 20th of December. But as we push that one through, then we start to potentially begin to open the door to colder air from the north. This is day 10, Tuesday the 22nd of December. Still unsettled, still lots of low pressure in control, but just trying to get a little bit of amplification in the North Atlantic to start to pull in some colder winds from the north. Now, this low pressure just here is marking the boundary between those very mild southwesterly winds on the southern side of the low and colder air from the north that's trying to dig in on the northern side of the low. Eventually, we get quite a significant area of low pressure developing there on the eve of Christmas Eve, which is 23rd of December, of course. Again, on the southern side of this low pressure, the air is relatively mild, but on the northern side of the low, we are beginning to pull in some really quite cold air from the north. Following the isobars back, the air actually originates from the Arctic. So this is proper Arctic air beginning to dig in on the northern side of this area of low pressure. And the way the GFS resolves this is to push the low pressure eastwards and introduce cold winds to Christmas Eve. So that's the upper air temperatures for the 23rd of December. Again, we've got the -5 Celsius isotherm into Scotland on the northern side of this low. As we go through to Christmas Eve, we push the low pressure eastwards and we turn the wind into the north. Now, of course, as that weather front pushes away to the south and the southeast, the air behind it is going quite cold, so it is possible we might get an undercut. A little bit of snow could develop on the back edge of that cold front. But even if we don't get that, we should, as the cold front clears, introduce like showers, and most showers will turn readily to sleet and snow across the northern and eastern parts of Scotland. So that is actually a little bit of a cold snap there for Christmas Eve. A -5 Celsius isotherm is digging into the south, -10 Celsius isotherm is into northern Scotland there on Christmas Eve. So that's a cold Christmas Eve on the GFS 6Z. Christmas Day is looking cold as well. We're under a slight ridge of high pressure. That would produce like a frosty start to Christmas Day, though, and probably snow showers for northern and eastern Scotland, and some wintry showers could be running down the east coast as well. But the emphasis then for Christmas Day would shift to mostly dry weather, but it would still be cold, and there would be frost, I think, with that on Christmas morning. So that would look like nice and sort of festive, wouldn't it? That's the end of Christmas Day. The high pressure is beginning to slip southwards and the weather fronts begin to move back in above the Atlantic, but still just about hanging on to the cold air for Christmas Day. So probably dry, sunny and cold there for Christmas Day. We're still within the -5 Celsius isotherm, so I see no reason why it should be anything other than quite a cold day. By Boxing Day, though, the next low has swept in, so we're back into milder air. So it is only a brief, like, 3 day cold snap, and then we're back into milder air for Boxing Day. Of course, the transition could be, you know, a little bit wintry, especially over high ground up in the north. But by the end of Boxing Day, we're back into those milder west or southwesterly winds again. There's the upper air temperature showing that the cold upper air temperature being pushed away to the north and the northeast. We're going back into milder air from off the Atlantic. And then we finish up with this GFS 6Z looking quite mild as far as we go, which is to the 28th of December. Mainly dry in the south, some rain up in the north. Quite a fun GFS 6Z today. That's how the GEM is looking. So again, that one is going to be unsettled for the next few days. There'll be bouts of rain coming and going. Let's see what happens as we move towards day 10. So that is Monday 21st of December. Push the low pressure through, and yes, we turn the wind into the north. But, you know, a little bit, happening a little bit sooner than the GFS 6Z. So by day 10, which is the 22nd of December, we begin to go back into those milder southwesterly winds once again with the GEM. And then the ECM WF looks like this. So rather wet and windy in the coming days. Bouts of rain, will be dry conditions in between. Winds from the southwest, so it should be pretty mild. Heading up towards day 10, the ECM also keeps it generally mild, especially so for England and Wales. If you follow the isobars back here, the air is originating from the Azores and pushing up into England and Wales. On the northern side of this low, though, the air is quite cold again. And follow the isobars back, the air does actually originate from like Svalbard and that sort of area. So if we could run on like another day or so, it would be interesting where this would go. Would we push this low pressure eastwards and pull the wind in from the north just in time for sort of Christmas Eve, Christmas Day? It would be interesting if we could go on any further, but of course we can't. That's as far as we go with the ECM, which is to day 10, and up to that point anyway, is relatively mild. And quite wet. Right, this is the rainfall forecast based on that ECM run from Tameteo.com. You're going to see plenty of rain coming and going here. Cold enough for a little bit of wintriness over high ground in the north across Scotland. But generally, we're just talking about rain in the coming week because the air is going to be too mild for anything wintry. Heading up towards day 10, stays unsettled, and here comes another bout of rain piling in from off the Atlantic as we get to day 10, which is 22nd of December. Again, cold enough for the air, for the rain to turn to snow across the high ground of Scotland, but otherwise it's a mild air mass that we're pulling in from the southwest, so we are really just talking about rain up to day 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Which gets us to midnight on the 22nd of December. We have 33 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to our west, and we're drawing a mild southwesterly wind. That includes the operational run as well, of course. There is northern blocking there, so there's plenty of northern blocking, but it's all just lined up to keep us relatively mild. We have 18 members of the ECM ensemble just here, but are pushing the low pressure further eastwards, with the northern blocking out to the west. So that's starting to hint at pulling in some colder winds from the north. Let's run through to around Christmas Eve and see what happens. So the option on the table for Christmas Eve, 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles then have low pressure over and to the north of the country. High pressure is out here, and we could be starting to pull in something a little bit colder to the north in particular. With that for Christmas Eve. Let's go through then to Christmas Day and have a look at the options for Christmas Day, or the option for Christmas Day. This is it. Again, 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles have blocking in the North Atlantic up to Greenland. Low pressure is over top of the country. So again, we're very close to pulling in cold air from the north with that. We just need to send that low pressure, that trough, a little bit further eastwards. And then we do something similar to what the GFS 6Z does, which is you know, pulling some colder air from the north. In 2 weeks' time, this is the option that we've got. It gets us to the 27th of December. Again, mid-Atlantic ridge with low pressure over the country. Again, on the north side of this low, we could be bringing cold air from the north. So not all that far away from pulling down something colder from the north with the ECM ensembles around Christmas. This Christmas is still keeping us guessing, isn't it? The weather gods are still keeping us guessing for Christmas. Right, CFSV2 finally, these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period takes from the 12th to the 18th of December. The coming week will have low pressure to our west. We'll be bringing in a southwesterly wind looking unsettled and mild. Very mild potentially in the week ahead. Week 2 is the 19th of December to Christmas Day. Low pressure is out to our west, still keeping winds in from westerly direction despite all of the northern blocking. There is a lot of it. Despite all of the high pressure in the northern latitudes, we remain mild up to Christmas Day. Change though for week 3, which is the 26th of December to the 1st of January. The high pressure begins to pull out to our west and northwest, and this hints that we will probably start to turn the wind into the north. So could we begin to go colder between Christmas and New Year there? Could we start to send things colder with northerly winds? Then we go through to week 4, which is the 2nd to the 8th of January. High pressure then is just out to our west-northwest. Winds are on a northwest and jet stream on a northwest-southeast trajectory. Again, that wouldn't take much of an adjustment. There's a trough coming through Scandinavia as well, by the way. That wouldn't take much of an adjustment to turn us colder or to keep us cold. So weeks 3 and 4 today with the CFS possibly hinting at something colder around the New Year to early January. But up to Christmas, looking generally mild. However, we know that the shorter range output is flirting, let's say, with the chance of a bit of a cold snap sometime around Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So still, Christmas keeps us guessing. Right, that's it for your videos for today then. If you enjoyed this video, please click like. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Make sure you tell your friends to subscribe as well. And let us know in the comments what you think. We're grinding our way to 9k subs, and hopefully we'll be able to get to 9k subscribers before too much longer. It would be nice if we could. I think we've got to put on something like another 340, something like that. So we've still got to put on quite a lot. But we'll see. We'll see when we get to 9k subscribers. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, so that's it for your videos for today. Now, tomorrow, we're going to, again, quite unusual for a Sunday, but there's no long-range stuff at the moment. We're having a break from the long range, so spring updates will start in January. By the way, but for December, like, we have a bit of a break from long range stuff. So rather unusually, tomorrow we'll have another 10 to 14 day, just very much like what you've done here, but that'll be coming up tomorrow. We'll have a Christmas update as well, I think, for you tomorrow, 19th Christmas update. hoping to start being able to put a little bit of detail onto Christmas, and we'll be live streaming from 6 o'clock tomorrow night, and yeah, that'll be sensible, Gab, though, from 6 o'clock tomorrow night. I won't be singing Christmas songs, don't worry, your eardrums will be safe, and I shall see you live at 6 o'clock tomorrow. For this one, though, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.